Happy Father's Day to all you dads out there today. Hope you've had a great day. This is the House of Orange Sports Channel. Frank coming at you. Tennessee baseball, of course, they're active in the portal. We're looking at, really to me, what I think is a shift in focus. Maybe a shift in kind of, I don't know if I'd say strategy, but maybe a change in style based on what they're targeting. But looking at what they're going to lose to the draft, you've already lost 7 guys to the portal, and there will be more on it. It's kind of interesting to see where Tennessee was going to go. And one thing that I talked with somebody the other night, and we talked about it, and he said catcher. And, you know, at the time I was kind of like, yeah, I could see it. But then the more it hit me, it's like, yeah. And Tennessee went out. They've been named with 3 catchers. Bowling Green catcher Garrett Wright entered the portal this week. He had a do not contact tag on him. Pete Nakos said Tennessee's the team to watch, and Pete Nakos was dead right on that. Garrett Wright visited this weekend. He has committed to Tennessee tonight. That gives Tennessee their 5th commitment out of the portal and their 1st from a position player. They've got 4 pitchers from the portal. And again, I'm not counting JUCO. I'm not counting your high school guys. All right, I'm counting strictly portal. You've added Clay Edmondson, pitcher from UNC Asheville, Mason Estrada, pitcher from MIT. Both those guys are draft risks, as I've said before. Not saying they will get drafted, but they are risks based on where they're at. So, you know, it'll be iffy to see, or it'll be interesting to see if they make it to campus or not. Bo Rudy, pitcher from Kennesaw State, Brady Frederick, pitcher, East Tennessee State, both are in the fold. They both have 2 years of eligibility left. Most of the time, these top guys, though, they go to their 3rd year, or like a Dean Curley, a Dylan Drawling, some guys for next year, 2 years, based on when they turn 21. For 21, by the time the draft rolls around, they can go pro after a couple years. All right. But looking at it now, Garrett Wright, he adds the 5th guy from the portal, the 1st from a position player. And why Garrett Wright for Tennessee? Pretty easy here. And, you know, what it's looked like to me is Tennessee's wanting to shore up that catching position. He was the MAC Defensive Player of the Year this year. He was a sophomore. He'll be a rising junior next year. So, you know, another guy comes to Knoxville, has a good year. He'll be off to the draft after next year. He hit .406 this season. He had I had it earlier in the week. It was, I think it was 8 home runs, 48 RBIs this year. Now, you get into a Tennessee weight program and what they do, though I expect those home run totals to go up into double digits. But again, something I talked about, a change of style with. All the hitters that I've seen Tennessee associated with, you're not seeing these 20 home run guys or anything. All of them that they've brought in so far have been single-digit home run hitters, but they've been high average guys, high on-base guys, high OBS guys along the way. That tells me we're looking more for next year for guys who can hit that gap with 2 outs, guys who can hit that gap when the bases are loaded, instead of basically home run, double play, warning track power, or strikeout. That seemed to be the consensus with this team this year. There wasn't a lot outside of maybe Keelan, Fisher, Inslee for a good – I mean, don't get me wrong. Bargo, Inslee, Chapman, all these guys had key moments. Peebles, all of them. When we got to the postseason, though, and we saw it, it was really Keelan, Fisher, Curley. That was the 3 main guys. Of course, Manny Marion had the big game against Wake Forest. You know, other guys had their moments, but we're going for, it looks like now, more of, well, we can stack this lineup 1 through 9 of all guys who hit 300, all guys who can hit the gaps along it. A guy, again, I keep going back to it, but what really impressed me, Chris Newstrom comes off the bench against Arkansas. Yeah, the game was, you know, intact at that point for Arkansas. It wasn't a high-pressure situation, but still, yet, you get an opportunity, you're going up there to make the most of it. Chris Newstrom turns on 99 in gaps, and it was perfect. That was a perfect BP ball if there ever was one. And then, you know, a guy like Jay Abernathy battled and then he, Arkansas pitcher hung the breaking ball and he put it off the scoreboard. And it was a line drive too. It wasn't, a towering shot. It was a good line drive. I like the line drive top hitters like that. That's more what Tennessee's going for with Garrett Wright here. You're adding a dude who can hit, and you're adding probably, I would venture to say, one of the best defensive catchers in the whole country based on everything readings here. It says that he played. Now, he can play the outfield too, is the thing of it. He's not just a catcher. So, that's not to say a Stone Lawless, a Brooks Wright, who I'm interested to see this year. I'm interested, could those guys catch and Garrett Wright possibly play the outfield? It is a possibility. It says he played 5 different positions. He had a 991 fielding percentage. Folks, that is very, very good. He caught in 36 games, played in the outfield 22 games, said he played left field 13, center field 4, right field 5, and then, of course, he caught as well. I'm not seeing what the 5th position he played was, unless it was DH or maybe he logged some. It doesn't say anybody logged any infield along the way. So a very versatile guy. That tells you if he can catch, if he can play the outfield. This guy's an athlete. He can move. He can run. He can, do it. And didn't find a lot of highlights. I found one here. I've gone off of it now. It was just a Bowling Green versus Ball State highlights, and it was about 3 minutes in. There was one where dude took off and he gunned him. Looked pretty effortless, to be honest with you. So I like this commit. I like what Tennessee's doing right now. Again, to me, it was a lot of frustration with, again, the home runs are sexy, but, we needed base hits. The defense was frustrating this year. We needed make the play. Tennessee's going out and trying to shore up guys who can get hits, guys who can play defense. And, if you'll notice too, most of these guys, I don't see the numbers listed for Wright as far as stolen bases go. But, his on-base percentage was over 500 this year. I'd have to go to the Bowling Green site, which I don't have pulled up here. But 20 doubles that he had this year. Again, that's guys getting on base, getting the hits. And there will be more. And, I know some people have started to get a little impatient with lack of portal names. But if you remember last year as well, of course, they were in Omaha, but Keelan, Fisher, Doyle, those were up in July before they ever committed to Tennessee. So, there will be more along the way. Of course, they had Landon Mack in, which Tony Vitello was. I've not listened to the interview yet, but he was on Tony Basilio, and he made a comment on it. Said, there's a guy, if we get who's here right now, we'll be unstoppable, basically, is what he said. And it was Landon Mack. He was a pitcher from Rutgers. I talked about him earlier in the week, and I'll link the video at the end where I talked about him. They had Aiden Robbins from Seton Hall. They had Jaron Advincula from Cal in as well. If you get those 3 guys, go along with Garrett Wright here, and they, there possibly could be more with, of course, Bo Rudy, Brady Frederick to go along with the rest of them. His teams will be ready to roll next year. I'm excited about it. I'm excited to see the progression of the freshmen. And something I want to find along the way, too, is where Vols are, where they're playing the summer league. I know there's some guys in the Appalachian League already. If you get a chance, there was a video a couple nights ago. Jackson Walker, who redshirted this past season. He was a true freshman. He was a top 100 guy, but he redshirted. He hit, down at Johnson City, hit a 442-foot bomb. He absolutely mashed it along the way. He's a guy I'm excited about. There's plenty of Vols playing in the Cape Cod League as well. So I'll try to find, and there'll be more spread around, probably some California, some up in the upper, probably upper Midwest as well. So I'll let you know what I found out on that as well. But you guys have a great rest of your evening. This is Frank. This is the House of Orange. Have a great evening, and I'll see you when I see you.